So we practice on the boards looking at describing sampling methods. On the first one, I say you want to take a cluster sample. So what does that mean? Excuse me. So see how it says cluster sample. All right. So a cluster sample means that it's you're going to get all from some of the clusters. So I was going to go ahead and actually let me pull something in. Sorry, I'm taking a little bit, not on purpose. Go back. That's not where I wanted. Oh, come on. There you are. And wanted to pull in what a cluster looked like. Now you can see the answers there, so you're like, okay, well, you can look at that while you're. And the reason I'm doing this is I wanted to pull the sampling method pictures in. So clusters look like this. Those are clusters, okay, where you have people together. In this case, so it could be different age people. In this case, the clusters will be our classes, all right? And how do we take a cluster sample? So that's what clusters looks like right there. Well, we take a cluster sample basically by putting all the group names from the sample frame in the hat. Here, let me put that down there. There we go. Oh, it's blocking some of it. And you put all the group names in. You can shuffle, mix well, and then draw the group names out. Okay, so that's how you draw a cluster sample. Now, if we numbered the, oops, I got to put it up here. It goes up there. So we get a list of all the English 3 classes, and we can number them, use a random number generator to pick 2 classes, because that should give us at least 40 students, because that is what we're going for here. We want to sample at least 40 students from all the English 3 classes. So we're going to pick 2 classes that should have 40 students. And we randomly pick 2 classes. So again, get a list of all English 3 classes, number them, use a random number generator to pick 2, and survey all of the students in the class. Now the second method we want to do is a stratified sample. So most of you had an easier time with this because it was similar to the Taylor Swift activity, because that's what we did. So each grade level is a strata. So let me show you what strata look like. Strata is pretty much that you have groups that the people within the group are similar. So here I have groups of people, and these are different aged people. So that's a strata, all right? So admittedly, seniors are not walking around with a cane, but you get the idea. How do we do stratified sampling? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to basically take a sample from each grade level, and we're going to do 4 different samples. One sample for freshmen, then a sample for sophomores, a sample for juniors, and a sample for seniors. So we would number the freshmen from 1 to whatever, however many freshmen there were. Use a random number generator to pick 10, you know what, let me change that, 10 unique freshmen, all right? So you don't want repeats. And repeat these steps for each grade level. And you've got your sample. Systematic sample is usually the easiest. So a systematic sample, when you're doing it, it's going to look something like this, where you're kind of doing every nth. And here, let me, it's not letting me resize. There we go. So how do we do a systematic sample? Well, first of all, you're actually going to decide how many you're going to skip, all right? And then you just randomize where you start. So if you're doing every 10th, you would put the numbers 1 through 10 in the hat. So decide, this should really be first. I'm going to put that first. We'll fix that right now. All right. Just randomly, oh, this should go in front. Did I put it in back? That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So decide how many skip. In this case, we'll do every 10th. And you can decide. It's not a big deal. Randomly pick a starting point. from 1 to 10. For example, let's say we pick 6, then we would start with student 6, then we do the 16th student and the 26th until you reach 40 students. So that's how you do a systematic sample. It's one of the easier sampling methods. And usually, again, the hint that you're doing it is you're like doing every nth. So that TH right there, that TH right there, I'm going to underline that if it lets me. Yeah, well, that's your hint you're dealing with a systematic sample. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully, these 3 examples on how to take a sample will help you better understand sampling techniques.